I don't know, but I think it's time to talk about the erasure of monoracial Black women. So recently, Meg Thee Stallion did a Women's Health magazine feature and was on the cover, okay? And apparently she's one of the first rap girlies to do so. And she talks about her music, her life, working out, and just being like an overall bad bitch. But the thing that stood out to me about the article that made me even do this video was how she described herself. Like I said, there's a lot she talks about, but I want to hone in on how she identifies herself here. So she says, as a Black woman, as a darker Black woman, I also feel like people expect me to take the punches, take the beating, take the lashings, and handle it with grace, but I'm human. Which is a word. But what I think Meg meant to say, which would be a more accurate descriptor, would be the fact that she's unambiguously Black and that she's visibly Black or monoracially Black. Because Meg is not darker skin. And the fact that Meg thinks so and other people think Meg is darker skin is an issue. And I know that you're thinking, well, there is a lot of light brights in the industry. There's a lot of biracials. There's a lot of that going on. So maybe she is darker skinned. She considers herself darker skinned in her industry. And no, because there are actual dark skin and darker skin rapper and artists that are in the industry that do get ignored. Or even when they are showcased, all you guys want to know is how they feel about colorism so you could attack them about their feelings on it, which is obviously the case with Flo Milli. But I digress and we move. But the issue with Meg identifying herself as a darker skinned Black woman is very obvious. The erasure of actual dark skinned Black women and their experiences. You cannot make someone that literally identifies themselves in raps as red bone and things like that as dark skin or darker skin. Like the misogynoir and transmisogyny that Meg deals with because she's a taller, visibly monoracial, Black, unambiguously Black woman is the issue. That is the issue. But darker skin and dark skin women face a different issue when it comes to colorism. And we cannot erase that and erase what dark skin women actually look like, especially here in the States. Like I see that happen a lot. Like I'm from the United States. So I'm not saying, oh, here in the States, like I'm from some fucking where else. Like you hear my accent, bitch. But the issue is at the end of the day that we from the States really do like completely erase dark skin and monoracial Black people in general. Like I see that a lot, especially with women. And even as I talk about the erasure of dark skinned women and dark skinned people in general, I myself used to think Naomi Campbell was super dark skinned and everyone also thinks Naomi Campbell's super dark skinned. But Naomi Campbell's actually a deep brown. Like there comes the conversation like, oh, there's no way that this person could be this dark, or there's no way, or like the type of hatred that gets spewed at people who are darker than Naomi Campbell. Saying like, if you just completely act like those people don't exist or can't exist, the amount of anti-Blackness that they're going to deal with is not going to be covered. Hell, we've barely scratched the surface of talking about colorism in our community, to be honest with you. Everyone's always dismissing it with we're all Black at the end of the day. They all look at us. No, they don't. They do not look at me and Naomi Campbell or Meg Thee Stallion as the same thing because we are all different colors. And that is a product of white supremacy, of white supremacy. But I definitely feel the need to say something, especially as someone being like light skinned myself, because if a dark skinned creator gonna come on here and say the same shit and y'all just gonna be like, no, and gaslight them and then try to like spew colorism at them to make them stop talking about it. But it's accurate. We have to stop actively erasing dark skinned people from pretty much our minds, like with our language, what we see in depictions and everything else. Like I literally see it happening, the act of erasure. People only thinking that someone could be quote like this dark or as dark as whatever, and putting a cap on how dark people can be, in a sense. Like it's like as if they're putting a cap on how dark skinned you're allowed to be in order to be even considered a person, because they're not talking about people who are darker than that. And so again, with anti-Blackness being prevalent, the erasure and the amount of anti-Blackness that a dark-skinned person will face will be unconceivable. And yes, Meg is coming from the perspective of being in an industry that honestly is the microcosm of like how like Americans and the world really thinks of black people in general. Like they can't be too black. And pretty much that she would be in a darker skin range because of that. So there's no hate to her. It's just we have to stop erasing monoracial black people. We have to stop calling people that are obviously non-black POCs or mixed POCs or racially ambiguous black. That has to stop because again, it allows for the erasure of dark-skinned people because we keep moving the goalposts on how dark someone could be because of it. One can be have a tone to them and have some curls and not be black. There's different types of curls. I know y'all see it because they see it. That's how we keep dealing with racial discrimination. So before y'all come on the internet and gaslight them and talk about reverse colorism and all this stupid shit and try to gaslight dark-skinned people about their experience on erasure, then you saw a light-skinned person talk about it. And there is no such thing as reverse colorism.